slušati i isto meni je drago svih vidjeti ovdje danas. I radujem se kad vas vidim i kad možemo ne samo pjevati skupa, nego baš slaviti Boga kao zajednica, tako da baš mi je drago. Okay, now we start with English.
Sad ćemo početi sa engleskim i ja sa hrvatskim.
You will ask why is Terry here next with me?
Pitat ćete se možda zašto je Terry tu pored mene.
She is my right hand.
Ona je moja desna ruka.
So for every single time that I step up here,
Tako da svaki put kada izađem ovdje naprijed,
she has been my support and
ona mi je podrška.
not only my sister but also my accomplice.
Ne samo moja sestra, nego moja, kako bi se to rekao? Da, to.
Yeah. So she is my assistant and my sister and my friend.
Ona je moja asistentica i sestra i prijateljica.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Dobro jutro svima.
I have something to share with you
Imam nešto što sa vama želim podijeliti.
that I have been in an adventure already 4 months.
Jednu pustolovinu u kojoj sam bila već nekoliko mjeseci.
When I started that adventure,
Kada sam započela tu pustolovinu,
I had a completely different perception of what it was than what I have now.
imala sam potpuno drugačiju ideju toga ili pogled na to šta je to, nego što imam sada.
Later on,
Kasnije,
for those who know me a little bit closer,
za one koji me malo bolje poznaju,
you will know to why do I refer to that, but okay.
znati ćete zašto to spominjem.
And here's the title of my presentation.
Ovdje je naslov moje prezentacije.
It looks kind of crazy, right?
Izgleda malo ludo, a?
I want to make some exercise with you,
Želim sa vama napraviti neku vježbu
so we get into it, what it means, tongue twisters.
da možemo ući u to šta to znači jezikolomke.
Does this word brings any back memories when you were a kid, when you were trying these tongue twisters?
Možda vas ova riječ podsjeća na djetinjstvo kad ste pokušavali neke jezikolomke.
To me it surely does.
Kako?
To me it surely does.
Meni sigurno da, ja se podsjećam.
So for obvious reasons, I want to give us some examples of what it means tongue twister, right?
Zbog svega toga želim vam dati par primjera što to znači jezikolomke.
And I'm so lucky and blessed
I ja sam tako sretna,
that I don't have to read that in English,
blagoslovljena da to ne moram čitati na engleski.
but I will ask Shane to read that in English.
Pitaću Shane da pročita.
Yeah, this first example.
Okay, idemo hrvatski. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?
Okay, great. That was the English example. Are you getting warm up?
Bravo, to je bio engleski primjer, sad ste se malo zagrijali.
Who should be my next victim for Croatian
Ko će
one?
biti moja iduća žrtva za hrvatski?
Let's pick Marko.
Marko.
4 čapke čuče na čabru, skoči maček na čabru i počini čitavo čudo.
Oh, great. You did much better than I did when I was trying to read it.
Ti si puno bolje to pročitao nego ja kad sam prije pokušavala.
And just to torture my assistant,
I da malo sad mučim svoju asistenticu.
I will let her read the last one.
Neka ona pročita ovo zadnje. Petar pita Pavla, pošto Pavle par pataka, pet pataka, puno petaka.
So it's so fun and entertaining to hear and to do all of these exercises, right?
To je baš zabavno kada radimo i slušamo te vježbe.
And just for fun.
I
So
samo za zabavu.
so we all get to have fun.
Da svi možemo se zabavljati malo.
I put one in Spanish as well.
Tu sam stavila jedan na španjolskom.
So now it's my turn to torture myself.
Sad ću se ja malo mučiti.
So you don't think that I only make you.
Da ne mislite da samo vas ja mučim.
El volcán de Paranguaricuariquícaro se quiere desparanguaritecarizar y el que lo desparanguituriquezare será un buen desparanguaritemizador.
Bravo!
It's so good that you don't know Spanish.
Dobro je, što si rekao?
It's so good that you don't know Spanish.
Dobro je da ne znate španjolski.
Yeah. I completely butchered that.
Skroz sam to pobrkala.
Well, maybe you're asking yourself, why are we doing this now?
Možda se pitate, zašto sada radimo ovo?
Well, tongue twisters
Jezikolomke
are designed
su dizajnirane
to train our tongue and our mind.
Da vježbaju naš jezik i naš
How they work in coordination with each other.
Kako se zajedno koordiniraju.
And you will understand more when I get into the next part. Why I choose to this.
Razumjet ćete više kada idem u taj sljedeći dio. Zašto ovo radimo?
So, welcome to my adventure with the next verse.
Dobrodošli u moju avanturu sa sljedećim stihom.
So the next verse that I have this adventure is the following.
Tako da stih s kojim imam avanturu je ovaj sljedeći.
So it's 1 Corinthians 14:20.
Prva Korinčanima 14:20.
And it reads, brothers and sisters,
Braćo i sestre,
stop thinking like children.
Nemojte razmišljati poput djece.
In regard to evil, be infants.
Umjesto toga budite nevini kao mala djeca.
But in your thinking, be adults.
U odnosu na zlo, ali u odnosu na način razmišljanja budite zreli.
The first thing that we see is that this verse is really short, right?
Prvo što vidimo je da ovaj stih je dosta kratak.
It doesn't have much meat.
Nema puno sosa, mesa.
So we can get into it.
Tako da možemo ići u to.
Well, at first that was my first thought.
To je bilo moja prva misao.
But actually, in such a short sentence,
ali zapravo u tako kratkoj rečenici
it makes really strong observations.
Ima jako puno bitnih, kako bi se rekao, observation, kao pogleda.
Yeah. So, as you can imagine, I read this a lot of times. A lot.
Možete zamisliti da sam ja ovo čitala jako puno puta.
And it came to my head, wait a second, is God trying to contradict something that I heard before?
I palo mi je na pamet, čekaj malo, nije možda da Bog želi nekako kao raditi neku kontradikciju nečega što je prije rekao?
Because a few Sundays ago,
jer prije nekoliko nedelja,
my dear Terry,
moja draga Terry,
gave us a really good preaching about how we should be kept like children.
Dala nam je propoved o tome kako trebamo biti kao djeca.
So then when I read this,
tako da kad sam pročitala ovo,
I'm like, God, are you pulling my leg?
onda sam rekla, Bože, šta ti me zezaš ili šta?
I didn't understand the contradiction of it.
Nisam razumjela tu kontradikciju toga.
First you're telling us that we should be like children, that we should be kept humble.
Najprije nam kažeš da trebamo biti kao djeca i da budemo ponizni.
To be soft and tender with people around
da
us.
budemo mekani i ljubazni sa ljudima oko nas.
And that was a great lesson.
I to je bila jako dobra lekcija.
And now you're telling me not to be like one?
I sad mi kažeš da ne budemo kao djeca.
I really scratched my head a little bit.
Baš sam se ovako češkala i razmišljala.
But after I was in an inner fight with myself and God.
Ali nakon što sam bila u takvoj nekoj borbi sa samom sobom i sa Bogom.
Why are you confusing me?
Zašto me tako buniš?
I got few understandings about this.
Dobila sam nekoliko pojašnjenja u vezi ovoga.
I was, okay, he's telling us not to be like children.
Razmišljala sam si, dobro, kaže nam da ne budemo kao djeca.
What can I learn from that?
Šta iz toga mogu naučiti?
Yes, kids give us great lessons.
Da, djeca nam daju jako dobre lekcije.
Like we heard before, how to be always kept in love.
Kao što smo prije čuli da trebamo uvijek biti u ljubavi.
Always open and
uvijek otvoreni.
And happy and humble.
I sretni i ponizni.
But
ali
There are also some things about kids,
Ima neke stvari kod djece,
some small things about kids
neke male stvari kod djece
that maybe we don't want to have.
koje možda mi ne želimo baš imati.
Well, maybe not so small.
Možda to nisu baš niti tako male stvari.
And then I started to ask myself how kids tend to be.
I onda sam se pitala, kakva djeca znaju biti?
Kids tend to be so freely in their emotions,
Djeca znaju biti tako slobodni u svojim emocijama,
in their actions.
u njihovim dijelima,
They're almost without control.
da su skoro bez ikakve kontrole.
They're hyper emotional about everything.
Hiperemocionalni su u vezi svega
Also hyperactive.
i hiperaktivni isto.
So I thought,
Onda sam mislila,
if there's something that I have to learn about what that verse says,
ako ima nešto što mogu naučiti iz ovog stiha,
it's how I don't want to be the following kid or children.
to je to da ne želim biti kao ovo sljedeće dijete ili djeca,
Because we are God's children.
jer mi smo Božja djeca,
We are His child. We
mi
are
smo
His children.
njegova dječica, njegova djeca.
So, as a child of God,
Tako da kao Božje dijete,
I don't want to be.
ja ne želim biti,
This is the first one.
to je prva stvar,
I don't want to be the loudest kid.
ne želim biti ono najglasnije dijete.
And you may think, oh, you mean to my voice?
I možda mislite, misliš na moj glas?
No, I'm not talking about that.
I ne mislim na to, o tome ne pričam.
I'm talking about that you cannot stop yourself to be loud over other people.
Mislim to kada ne možeš sebe zaustaviti da prestaneš biti glasan preko nekog drugog.
That you want to attract all the attention to yourself.
Mislim na to da želiš svu pažnju usmjeriti na sebe.
You know, have you seen kids when they're trying to look all the attention on themselves?
Ste vidjeli nekad djecu koja privlače svu pažnju na sebe?
Look at me!
Gledaj me!
I'm here!
Ja sam tu!
Yeah, so I don't want to be that kind of kid.
Da, tako da takvo dijete ja ne želim biti.
That I don't have kindness towards other people.
Ne želim biti takva da nemam ljubaznost prema ostalima.
Not to hear what they need to say.
Da ne čujem što oni imaju za reći.
Or the situations that are around me.
Ili situacije koje su oko mene.
So that's the first kid. I say no.
Tako da to je to prvo dijete kojemu kažem ne.
The second kid
Drugo dijete,
is a jealous kid.
to je ljubomorno dijete.
So I'm sure that we all at one point of our life were jealous about something.
Sigurna sam da svi mi smo u nekom trenutku u životu bili ljubomorni zbog nečega.
We are jealous about what people has
Bili smo ljubomorni zbog toga što drugi ljudi imaju
or what people receive.
ili što drugi ljudi primaju,
But here's the thing.
ali tu je jedna stvar.
I'm not talking about material stuff.
Ja ne pričam o materijalnim stvarima,
I'm talking about spiritual stuff.
ja pričam o duhovnim stvarima.
Sometimes we get too jealous to see other people receiving something from God.
Nekad smo tako ljubomorni kad vidimo da drugi ljudi dobivaju nešto od Boga.
And we think, oh, why couldn't be me?
A mislimo, pa zašto to ne mogu ja dobiti?
Hello, I'm here.
Halo, ja sam tu.
Why he can get and I don't?
Zašto on može dobiti, a ja ne?
Or why does he has and I don't?
I zašto on i to ima, a ja nemam?
So we don't want to be that kid that has no joy in other people having other stuff.
Tako da ne želimo biti ono dijete koje nema nikakvu radost od toga kad drugi ljudi dobivaju od Boga nešto.
To think that it's something negative that because somebody else receive or have,
Da mislimo da je to nešto negativno kad neko drugi prima ili ima,
it's something negative for me.
to je nešto, da mislimo da je to nešto negativno za mene.
We should be glad for them.
Mi bi trebali biti sretni zbog njih.
And the third kid that I say no to,
I treće dijete kojemu kažem ne,
okay, it's getting ready the kid. Okay. It's a kid who doesn't like to share.
treće dijete je ono koje ne voli dijeliti stvari.
The simple idea of sharing,
Jednostavna ideja toga da trebam podijeliti nešto,
it's problematic.
to je problematično.
We only want to receive the benefit of everything.
Samo mi želimo dobiti onaj benefit toga.
Just for me, I'm ready here.
Želimo samo za mene, ja sam tu.
Nek pada, samo tu.
Nek pada samo.
Tu preljevaj se. What about the rest, you know?
A što za ostale?
We shouldn't be that kind of kid.
Ne bi trebali biti takvo dijete.
So I don't want to be a kid that doesn't know how to share.
Ne želim biti dijete koje ne zna kako podijeliti stvari.
I am the youngest of 3.
Ja sam najmlađa od 3 djece.
There was a really big age difference between my brother, my sister and me.
Između mene i mog brata i moje sestre je velika razlika u godinama.
So it was like I was an only child.
Tako da je to bilo skoro kao da sam ja jedino dijete.
And obviously I receive everything all the time.
I naravno, ja sam cijelo vrijeme sve sam ja dobivala.
From my brother, my sister, oh, kući, 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 you're so cute.
Za mog brata i za moju sestru sam ja bila slatka mala.
All the toys.
Sve igračke meni.
Everything for me.
Sve za mene.
But then when it came the moment where I had to share with other kids.
Ali kad je došao trenutak da trebam podijeliti nešto sa drugom djecom. Ajoj.
Bože moj. It was really hard for me.
To je za mene bilo jako teško.
I'm talking when I was in kindergarten, people.
Pričam o tome kad sam bila u vrtiću, ljudi.
But then I understood that it was way more fun to share what I have with others.
Ali onda sam shvatila da je puno zabavnije da podijelim ono što imam sa ostalima.
How great it was, the best like that. Not just me alone.
To je bilo najbolje kad je to tako, ne samo da to imam za sebe.
So when I started to analyze those points of view a little bit deeper.
Kad sam ove načine gledanja toga analizirala malo dublje,
I was starting to ask myself, okay, from where is this coming from?
onda sam pitala sama sebe, dobro, odakle ovo dolazi?
To who is that verse talking to?
Kome ovaj stih priča?
Why?
I zašto?
Why is he saying that?
Zašto to Bog kaže?
And obviously I went to search more about it.
I naravno sam išla u potragu dublju.
I didn't want to make any conclusions without knowing anymore.
Nisam htjela napraviti neke zaključke bez da saznam još nešto.
And when I started to read,
I kad sam počela čitati,
if we are familiarized with the book of Corinthians, the first book of Corinthians,
mi koji znamo poslanicu Korinčanima,
and even if you're not, I will give you the tea right now.
čak i ako ne znate tu poslanicu, sad ću vam ja to sve ispričati.
Okay, in this book, Paul is answering to some problems that there were happening in the church back there.
U toj poslanici Korinčanima Pavao priča o nekim problemima koje je ta crkva imala.
It came to his ears
Došlo je do njegovih ušiju
that there were some problems happening in the church in Corinthians.
da u toj crkvi u Korintu se događaju neki problemi.
And one of those problems, because there were several that he addressed,
I bilo je nekoliko problema o kojima je on pričao, a jedan od tih problema je bio
it was that there was some kind of disorder happening.
Jedan taj problem je bio da se tamo događao neka vrsta nereda.
When there were gatherings for worship.
Kada je ta crkva imala zajedničko okupljanje da slave Boga.
Or any other kind of gathering.
Ili bilo koje drugo okupljanje.
And inside of this group of people who were in the gatherings,
I u toj skupini ljudi koji su bili na tim sastancima,
these people were experiencing really powerful stuff.
Ljudi su doživljavali jako snažne stvari.
Really, through the Spirit, they experience, I don't know, something very powerful.
U duhu su doživljavali stvarno moćne stvari.
And it was that strong
I to je bilo tako jako
that these people who were there,
da ti ljudi koji su bili tamo,
they started to pray,
počeli su moliti
to prophesize,
i prorokovati,
even in foreign languages,
čak i u tuđim jezicima, da.
or it can also be like languages from heaven.
To mogu biti anđelski jezici, da. Hvala.
And this was so strong.
I to je bilo toliko moćno.
And all happening at the same time.
I sve se događalo u istom trenutku.
Everybody at the same time praying,
Svi odjednom
prophesying.
mole se i prorokuju.
It was, I imagine, like some when you electrocute yourself.
To je bilo,
Has that happened to you?
zamišljam to tako da je to bilo kao kad staviš prst u struju, onda te prođe struja.
You know, it's something that you cannot control, your body is so strong.
To je
Right?
tako snažno da to ne možeš kontrolirati.
Well, it was that strong
To je bilo tako jako.
that it started to become a problem.
To je bilo tako jako da je to počelo biti problem.
Why?
Zašto?
Because it started to be like what we know as kokošinjac.
Jer je to počelo biti to što mi poznamo kao kokošinjac.
When you are in a kokošinjac,
Kada si u kokošincu,
it's hard to understand what's happening,
teško je razumjeti šta se događa,
who is saying what,
šta tko kaže,
why are they saying that,
zašto to kažu
where am I?
i di sam ja to ono.
So, what does Paul says about that situation?
Tako da što je Pavle govorio o toj situaciji?
Can Paul talk? Yeah? No? Okay. So, why is Paul saying that?
Zašto to Pavle govori?
So, it says here,
Tu kaže,
1 Corinthians 14:2.
1. Korinčanima 14.2.
For anyone who speaks in a tongue does not speak to people but to God.
Jer tko govori nepoznatim jezikom, ne govori ljudima, nego Bogu.
And that's true.
I to je istina.
When somebody has that gift
Kad neko ima taj dar
to pray in tongues,
da moli u jezicima,
that's a special relationship
to je poseban odnos
between the Spirit
između duha
and that person.
i tog čovjeka.
And 1 Corinthians 14:4 it says, anyone who speaks in a tongue edifies themselves, but the one who prophesies edifies the church.
I 1. Korinčanima 14.4 govori, onaj koji govori nepoznatim jezikom sam sebe izgrađuje, ali onaj koji prorokuje izgrađuje crkvu.
What is the difference here?
Koja je razlika tu?
I honestly think that he doesn't mean nothing negative by it.
Ja stvarno mislim da Pavle nije mislio ništa negativno ovime.
I think that he was trying to say that it's great that you can have a special relationship with the Spirit.
Mislim da je htio reći da je odlično da možeš imati poseban odnos sa Duhom Svetim
When you pray in tongues.
kada moliš u jezicima,
But that's something between you and God.
ali to je nešto između tebe i Boga,
Something just almost for you.
nešto skoro kao samo za tebe.
And those who have the gift of prophecy,
A oni koji imaju dar prorokovanja,
they do it to build up the church.
oni to rade kako bi izgradili crkvu,
To build up the people.
da izgrade ljude.
So it's not something meant for them.
Tako da to nije nešto što je namijenjeno za njih same.
It's for people around them.
To je za ljude oko njih.
So that's the difference between those two.
Tako da to je razlika između te dvije stvari.
And I will add something here about that.
I nešto ću dodati ovdje.
It's so important that you edify yourself,
Jako je bitno da ti izgrađuješ sam sebe,
because then you can edify others.
jer onda možeš izgraditi ostale.
So they're both good and they're so important.
Tako da oboje je jako dobro i jako bitno.
And the third text, 1 Corinthians 14:11.
I zadnji stih, 1. Korinčanima 14.11.
If then I do not grasp the meaning of what someone is saying, I am a foreigner to the speaker and the speaker is a foreigner to me.
Ako ne razumijem jezik onoga koji mi govori, onda mi je taj čovjek stranac, a ja sam njemu stranac.
So what he's trying to make reference here to that
Ono na šta se on želi odnositi time,
is that maybe not all the people who were present in those gatherings,
da možda ne svi ljudi koji su bili prisutni na tim zajedničkim sastancima,
either they didn't have yet the gift of tongues,
ili nisu još imali dar jezika,
or perhaps they were just guests there,
ili su možda to bili ljudi koji su bili samo gosti tamo,
or maybe people who just happened to pass through there.
ili možda ljudi koji su samo prolazili onuda.
So you can imagine
Tako da možete zamisliti
how it must have been for those people who were there.
kako je to bilo za te ljude koji su tamo bili.
Not only to hear something that it was out of the extraordinary, to see all of this happening, to hear all of this.
Ne samo čuti nešto što je van normale i vidjeti i čuti što se tamo događa,
But it was a little bit chaotic.
a i još je to bilo malo kaotično.
And it could be a little bit scary,
I
you
moglo
know,
je to biti malo zastrašujuće.
especially if you're not familiarized with it.
Posebno ako s time nisi upoznat.
So I have here a really short video
Imam jedan kratak video
because I want to transport you
jer vas želim premjestiti ili transportirati
to what could that have possibly looked like.
u to kako je to tada možda moglo izgledati.
So I want that we see together this video
Želim da pogledamo zajedno ovaj kratki video.
so we can give us a better idea to what Paul was talking
Da
about.
možemo imati jednu bolju ideju toga o čemu je Pavle govorio.
And of course the situation that it was being described to him in these letters that he received.
I o toj situaciji koja je njemu bila opisana u tim poslanicama koje je on dobio.
So let's look at the
Tako da,
video.
ajmo pogledat.
Yeah, it's good that it lasts short, right?
Dobro da je to samo kratki video.
But as we could see in the video,
Kao što smo vidjeli,
we could see that that could be really chaotic.
možemo vidjeti da tako nešto bi bilo jako kaotično.
If someone would have happened to walk outside
Ako bi netko prolazio okolo
and see that,
i vidio tako nešto,
there will be like, what are you smoking?
onda bi se pitali, ma šta ti pušiš ono?
What's happening in here?
Šta se ovdje događa?
You know, I go to the other side of the sidewalk.
Idem tamo malo dalje od toga.
So in the video is just one guy.
Tako da u ovom videu je samo jedan tip
Now we must imagine a whole church acting that way.
i zamislimo si cijelu crkvu u ovakvom stanju.
Woof! Can you?
Možete si to zamisliti.
I was first terrified and then I started to laugh.
Prvo sam bila uplašena i onda sam se smijala tome.
At the beginning, when I was reading the answer of Paul to this problematic,
Kada sam na početku čitala Pavlov odgovor na ovu problematiku,
I was thinking, oh, he's been very severe with his comments.
mislila sam si, joj, Pavle je jako strog sa svojim komentarima.
But then I imagine again the guy in the video,
Ali onda sam si zamislila ovog tipa u tom videu
multiply by I don't know how many.
i pomnožila to sa ne znam koliko ljudi je tamo bilo.
So I was like, yeah, okay, I get it.
Onda sam si rekla, dobro, razumijem.
I have a few experiences about that as well.
Ja osobno imam par iskustva s takvim situacijama.
No, I was not in the market like the guy. No.
Nisam bila u marketu kao ovaj čovjek.
But I used to go to church with my grandmother.
Ali znala sam ići u crkvu sa svojom bakom,
But I hated going there.
ali mrzila sam ići tamo.
I was a small kid,
Ja sam bila malo dijete tada,
maybe 6-7 years old.
možda 6 ili 7 godina sam imala.
I love that my grandma talked to me about the Bible and God.
Voljela sam kad je moja baka sa mnom pričala o Bibliji i o Bogu,
But every time that she would tell me, let's go to church,
ali svaki put kad mi je rekla ajmo u crkvu,
I was like, let's not!
onda sam rekla ajmo ne ići.
And obviously I will have to go with my grandma because she's my grandma.
I naravno morala sam ipak ići sa svojom bakom jer ona mi je baka.
But it was a place that created trauma for me.
Ali to je bilo jedno mjesto koje je napravilo meni jednu traumu.
Also, I imagine that they had some gatherings either for prayer
Mislim da su imali isto neke druge sastanke, na primjer za molitvu
or for worship,
ili za slavljenje,
but there were also happening some stuff like that
ali isto su se događale takve nekakve stvari, kao što smo
that
vidjeli.
my young brain didn't understand.
Moj mladi mozak to nije razumio.
And obviously now that I'm older, I can comprehend some stuff.
I sada kad sam starija, naravno, mogu razumjeti neke stvari.
But back then that was horrifying for me to
Ali
see.
tada, kad sam bila mala, meni je to bilo strašno.
I'm there sitting with my grandma,
Ja tamo sjedim sa svojom bakom
and there was literally a guy like being electrocuted in front of me.
i tamo je bio neki čovjek koji kao stvarno da je struja, kroz njega strujala.
And then somebody came to the people next to me.
I onda neko pristupio ljudima pored mene.
Siente el fuego!
Šta?
Feel the fire.
Aha, osjeti oganj.
And almost like shaking the people next to me.
I taj čovjek skoro kao da je tresao sa tim ljudima koji su bili pored mene.
I was shocked.
Ja sam bila u šoku.
Get me out of here, help.
Pomozite mi, maknite me odavdje.
What's happening?
Šta se ovdje događa?
Grandma, why?
Baka, zašto?
But obviously because that created such a trauma in me.
Ali baš zbog toga što je to kreiralo takvu traumu u meni.
For a long time.
Dugo vrijeme.
I had a blockage.
Ja sam imala blokadu.
For everything what comes from the Spirit.
Za sve što dolazi od Duha Svetog.
I didn't want to hear nothing about it.
Nisam htjela ni čuti ništa o tome.
Almost like allergic.
Skoro kao da sam bila alergična na to.
I will hear, oh, prophecy, oh, rash.
Ja sam čula, proročanstvo,
Tongues, oh, headache.
Jezici i glavobolja.
It was on the level of almost creating a physical reaction on me.
To je bilo na levelu skoro da sam dobivala fizičku reakciju na to.
That's how bad it marked me back then.
Toliko me to pogodilo tada.
Thank God.
Hvala Bogu.
I'm free of those lies.
Ja sam oslobođena od tih laži.
And of those wrong perceptions.
I od tih krivih percepcija.
But it took me a long time.
Ali trebalo mi je dugo vremena.
So my conclusion to that.
Tako da moj zaključak.
And I remember also me thinking that when I was a small child.
I sjećam se da sam to mislila kad sam bila mala.
I think that church.
Mislim da crkva
should
bi trebala biti
a place where everyone
mjesto gdje svako
feels welcome.
Se osjeća dobrodošao.
From the smallest
od najmanjeg
to the biggest
do najvećeg,
to the youngest
od najmlađeg
to the oldest,
do najstarijeg.
How Katka said, from the smallest, from the thinner to the
Kao Katka nekad kaže, od najmršavijeg do najdebljeg.
Najtankijeg do najdebljeg. Yes, amen to that. Yes.
Amen na to.
So that's why I think that Paul was trying to warn us about this.
Baš zbog toga mislim da Pavle nas je htio upozoriti
and also the
u vezi toga.
And also the reason why maybe he was so harsh with his commentary.
To je možda i razlog zašto je bio tako tvrd sa svojim komentarima.
Yeah, he wants to avoid
On želi izbjeći
that we forget the real purpose.
Da zaboravimo taj glavnu svrhu.
That we have as a congregation.
Koju mi imamo kao zajednica.
Like one body.
Kao jedno tijelo.
The church like one organism.
Crkva kao jedan organizam.
That it works.
Koji funkcionira.
With a lot of parts.
Sa puno dijelova.
Not only a lot of parts, a lot of different parts.
Ne samo sa puno dijelova, nego i različitih dijelova.
And they have different functions.
I imaju različite funkcije.
But every function,
ali svaka funkcija,
every part,
svaki dio
complements each other.
Se zajedno nadopunjuje.
So it is as important.
Tako da je bitno
the eye.
Istu važnost ima oko,
the nose,
nos,
the leg,
noga,
the finger,
prst,
the ear,
uho,
everything what you can possibly imagine.
Sve što vam padne na pamet.
And all of this in togetherness.
I sve to u zajedništvu.
They have the purpose.
Ima svrhu.
To serve.
Da služi.
To raise up.
Da podiže.
To build up the church.
Da gradi crkvu.
One to another.
Jedan drugoga.
And even for the people who are outside.
I isto tako i ljude koji su vani.
Remember the selfish child?
Sjećate se onog sebičnog djeteta.
So, yes, we are the body.
Tako da mi smo tijelo.
but let's not forget about the people who are out still.
Ali nemojmo zaboraviti ljude koji su i van toga.
Okay, next.
Iduće.
Okay, now this one. We saw that. So, does it only apply to the tongues, what Paul was saying?
Tako da, pitamo se da li se to samo odnosi na govor u jezicima, ono što je Pavle govorio.
The critique, right?
Ta kritika Pavlova, da li se samo na to odnosi?
And I say no!
I ja kažem ne.
Not at all!
Ne, uopće.
Not at all. Actually,
Baš upravo
we will read some other examples.
ćemo čitati i druge primjere.
So it is clear to all of us
Da nam može svima biti jasno
that we can misuse things.
da možemo, da se nam može desiti da zloupotrebimo naše darove.
So I will read one by one.
Tako da jedan po jedan ću pročitati.
So it says, if I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong.
Možda neko, ako ima Bibliju, može pročitati
Volunteers.
na hrvatski. Ako ima neko na hrvatskom, možda bolje nego da ja to prevađam. 1. Korinčanima 13.1. Ima neko? Aha, da. Samo ne bih htjela... Da.
A ljubavi ne bih imao, bio bih mječ što ječi i cimbal što zveči.
Da,
Yeah.
tako nekako.
So just imagine, if we have that gift, but we do not have love within it,
Tako da zamislite, ako imamo taj dar, a nemamo ljubavi u njemu,
we're not gonna cut through.
nećemo, ne znam,
Nećemo, ići dublje.
nećemo ići dublje, da.
We're gonna be like a broken record.
Biti ćemo kao neka razbijena gramofonska ploča.
You can put it on the gramophone,
Možeš ju staviti na gramofon,
but it will not make any sound.
ali neće napraviti nikakav zvuk.
If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains but do not have love, I am nothing.
1. Korinčanima 13.2, može neko pročitati?
Kad bih imao dar prorokovanja i znao slova tajstva i sve spoznanje, kad bih imao svu vjeru, da bih i gore premještao, a ljubavi ne bih imao ništa.
If I give all what I possess to the poor and give even my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing.
Kad bih razdao svoj imetak i kad bih predao svoje tijelo da se sažeže, a ljubavi ne bih imao ništa i to ne bih koristio.
So what these three speak to us?
Tako da šta nam ova 3 stiha govore?
Whichever it is the function that we have,
Bilo koju funkciju mi imali,
if we don't give it
ako ju ne dajemo
or if we don't use it
ili ako ju ne koristimo
with the purpose
sa svrhom
to give love,
da dajemo ljubav,
the love that only can come from God,
ljubav koja samo dolazi od Gospoda,
is in vain,
to je sve uzalud.
is sterile, without fruit.
To je sterilno i bez plodova.
If we could in exchange,
Ako bi umjesto toga
we could use what we have
mogli koristiti ono što imamo,
to help
da pomognemo
or to make others grow,
ili da pomognemo drugima rasti,
there is where our focus should be.
tamo bi trebao biti naš fokus.
That is not something selfish,
Da to nije nešto sebično,
egocentric.
egocentrično.
So, if my behavior somehow
Tako da ako moje ponašanje nekako
is causing some kind of distraction
uzrokuje neku ometanje, hvala,
or uncomfortableness
ili neku neugodnost
to the people who is around me,
ljudima koji su oko mene,
for love to those people,
zbog ljubavi prema tim ljudima,
I will love more those people
više ću ljubiti te ljude
than myself,
nego sebe
and I will stop doing that.
i prestat ću to raditi.
That should be what is important for me.
To je ono što bi meni trebalo biti bitno.
I can have my private alone time with God,
Mogu imati svoje privatno vrijeme s Gospodom
and there in my alone time with Him,
I tamo, kad sam na samo s Gospodom,
I can be the freak that I am.
mogu biti ta, luđakinja koja jesam.
I know He will not judge me.
Ja znam da on me neće suditi.
He's the only one who doesn't judge me
On je jedini koji me ne sudi
and who loves me freely,
i ko me stvarno ljubi
and that I can also be free with.
i da ja mogu biti slobodna.
So it's okay that I can contain myself while other people are here.
Tako da je u redu da se mogu malo samu sebe ograničiti dok sam sa drugim ljudima.
For example, we have our worship nights
Na primjer, mi znamo imati naše večeri slavljenja,
where we all come to worship God
gdje svi dolazimo slaviti Boga
with our mouth
sa našim ustima
and our mind
i našim umom
and our body
i našim tijelima
and our stand,
i našim kako stojimo na stavom.
with everything what we are,
Svime što imamo,
with everything what we have.
svime što jesmo.
And that's a place that is specially designed for that.
I to je mjesto koje je specijalno namijenjeno za to.
But now let's talk about a different kind of gathering.
I sad ajmo pričati o jednom drugačijoj vrsti sastanka.
That it may be that there are people who are from church or maybe there are not.
Na kojima možda jesu ljudi koji su iz crkve, ali možda ima i ljudi koji nisu iz crkve.
So we need to be sensitive to that.
I mi moramo biti osjetljivi na to.
How those people can react
Kako ti ljudi mogu reagirati
to those kind of things.
na takve stvari.
We don't want to call something like what my grandma did to me.
Ne želimo napraviti nešto kao što je moja baka meni napravila.
I know that she didn't do it on purpose.
Znam da to nije namjerno radila.
But if I know that now,
Ali ako ja to sada znam,
if I went through that experience,
ako sam prošla kroz to,
I'll be the first one to not allow that in myself anymore.
ja ću biti prva koja to neće dopustiti kod sebe.
Because gatherings
Jer sastanci
should be something where everyone can come,
bi trebali biti nešto gdje svako može doći,
learn about the gospel,
čuje evanđelje,
worship together,
zajedno slavimo Boga,
and because we give that space for God to work,
jer dajemo mjesto Bogu da može raditi,
then we can all single-handedly receive something from Him.
onda možemo svako od nas pojedinačno dobiti nešto od Boga.
Without the need to be fighting who gets more, why he screams, he yells,
Bez toga da se svađamo u vezi toga ko viče, ko prorokuje, ko kaže.
Just to give Him the space.
Samo da damo Bogu mjesta.
So, what do I aspire to?
Tako da na što ja ciljam
I aspire
ili što želim, ja želim
to follow in love
slijediti u ljubavi
and desire the gifts of the Spirit.
i žuditi za darovima Duha Svetoga.
I want to, everything what I do,
I želim da sve što ja radim,
everything what I say,
sve što govorim
how I live,
i kako živim,
it screams love.
da to viče ljubav.
L-O-V-E. Love.
Ljubav.
Yes. And not only that,
I ne samo to,
but I also want to desire
ali ne samo to, nego želim i žuditi,
to have all what the gift of the Spirit can give to me.
želim imati sve duhovne darove koje mi Duh Sveti želi dati.
Not 1, 2, 3.
Ne 1, 2, 3.
God give me everything.
Bože, daj mi sve.
Nek pada. So yeah, I want to aspire that.
Tako da za time čeznem.
I want also to build people up
Također želim podizati ljude gore
with what I have.
s time što ja imam.
With 1, with 2,
Sa
with
jednim,
10.
2, 10.
Just use it.
Time što imam, samo to želim koristiti.
Use it also to build others.
Koristiti to za to da ljude gradim, podižem.
Love others first.
Prije svega ljubiti druge.
I'm not saying that you forget about yourself,
Ne kažem da trebaš zaboraviti na
but
sebe,
others are as important as you are.
ali ostali su isto tako bitni kao ti.
And we want to give every single step we do.
I želimo, kako?
We want to give every single step
I želimo svaki korak dati.
that we do is with love for others.
Svaki korak koji radimo želimo raditi u ljubavi za druge.
And I want to tell you also
I isto vam želim reći
that a gift is not a representation of a relationship.
da dar nije
Reprezentacija.
kao ne reprezentira, ne pokazuje na odnos,
Odnos sa duhom.
sa duhom.
Oh yeah. So I want to tell you this why.
Želim vam reći to zašto.
Because again we go back to that child.
Tako da, jer opet se vraćamo na ono dijete.
We see other people using what they have.
Vidimo druge ljude da koriste ono što imaju.
And we're like, oh, but I only have one.
I onda se i razmišljamo, a ja samo imam jedan.
Maybe God loves him more.
Možda njega Bog ljubi više.
Look how much he has.
Pogledaj koliko on toga
I
ima.
have this miserable one.
Ja imam samo taj jedan jadan dar.
He loves him more.
On njega više ljubi.
Well, you're wrong.
No, ti si totalno u krivu.
That's not how it works.
Tako to ne funkcionira.
God doesn't play favorites.
Bog nema neke kao favorite.
So don't be misled by that.
Tako da nemojte time biti zavarani.
And the other one is all the people
I još jedna točka, svi ljudi
and all the gifts
i svi darovi
are valuable
su vrijedni
and equal.
i imaju istu vrijednost.
And we should really see it that way.
I mi to stvarno trebamo na taj način gledati.
Not only see it, but believe it.
Ne samo da to vidimo tako, ali vjerujemo.
Not like, oh, you read something, oh yeah, okay.
Ne samo da to pročitamo, a da.
No,
okay.
that it's written within yourself.
Da to bude napisano u tebi.
So I just want to go back a little bit
Samo ću se malo vratiti
to the kids that we don't want to be.
na onu djecu koju ne želimo biti takva
So
djeca.
now let's change that to not the kids that we don't want to be, the kids that we want to be.
Ajmo to sad promijeniti i kakva djeca mi želimo biti.
So I'm not gonna be that loud kid.
Neću biti ono glasno dijete.
I'm gonna be a kind, respectful kid.
Biti ću ljubazno i dijete koje ima poštovanje.
I want to hear what you want to say.
Koje želi čuti ono što ti imaš za reći.
I open my heart, my ears to you.
Otvaram svoje srce i svoje uši tebi.
I'm here for you.
Ja sam tu zbog tebe.
I don't want to be a jealous kid.
Ne želim biti ljubomorno dijete.
I don't want to see my brother and my sister not only by blood but also here.
Ne želim vidjeti svoju braću i sestre ne samo one kao fizičke, nego duhovne.
And see something that they have or that they are.
I vidjeti nešto što oni imaju ili što oni jesu.
And I'm like, of course.
I onako biti, da, naravno.
No, I want to cheer for them.
Ne, to ne želim biti. Ja želim navijati za njih.
I want that they're an example to me.
Želim da oni budu primjer meni.
I want to aspire to be like them.
Želim čeznuti za time da budem kao oni.
Instead of, oh, I am jealous of that person.
Umjesto tog razmišljanja da sam ljubomoran na njih.
They have such a, I don't know, I cannot say something correct. They are so kind to, I don't know, people outside, I don't know.
Na primjer, oni su tako ljubazni prema ljudima vani.
I should be more like that.
Trebam razmišljati, ja želim biti kao oni.
I'm happy for them.
Yes. Yes, you want to be happy for them and also to do that for you.
Želiš biti sretan zbog njih i isto to raditi.
The last kid,
I zadnje,
the one who
dijete,
doesn't like to share,
ono koje ne želi dijeliti stvari.
I want to share everything what I have.
Želim podijeliti sve šta imam.
It can be from my clothes,
To može biti od moje
my
odjeće,
house,
od svoje kuće,
my time.
od mog vremena.
I want to give that.
I ja to želim dati.
Not only because, oh, here you go, there, I must,
Ne samo kao, evo ti, moram.
but because it actually comes from my heart.
Nego zbog toga što to dolazi od mog srca.
The true heart of a child.
Pravo srce djeteta.
That's what we should aspire to be like children.
Za time bi trebali čeznuti da budemo kao djeca.
We want to be those children.
Želimo biti ta dobra, ta djeca.
So that has been my adventure during these 4 months.
Tako da to je bila moja avantura zadnjih 4 mjeseca.
It was full of drama and
To je bilo puno drame, razne
fear,
i straha,
but at the end it was such a rewarding experience.
Ali na kraju je to bilo jako, kako se kaže, rewarding. Da.
Yeah, and I hope that it is as helpful for all of you how it has been for me.
I nadam se da vam je to pomoglo toliko koliko i meni.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Tako da, hvala.